Have you ever felt like something inside you is changing, but you can't explain what it is? You look around and everything feels the same, yet you don't feel the same anymore. The things that once made you happy suddenly feel meaningless. The people you used to connect with now feel distant, and there's a strange sense of emptiness, even when your life looks fine from the outside. You start questioning things you never questioned before. Who am I really? What is the purpose of my existence? Why do I feel so different, so detached, so lost, yet somehow more alive than ever? If you've been feeling this silent chaos inside you, a confusion mixed with a deep inner calling, you might not be lost at all. You might be awakening. Spiritual awakening isn't about becoming holy or following rituals. It's about remembering who you truly are. It's about peeling off everything that isn't you, the conditioning, the masks, the expectations, until all that's left is your authentic self, raw and real. And trust me, awakening is not always peaceful. It can feel like your entire world is falling apart, when in truth, your soul is rebuilding your life from the ground up. Hello everyone, welcome to my Sanity Hub. In this video, we'll dive deep into the clear and hidden signs that show you're going through a spiritual awakening, the experiences, emotions, and subtle shifts that your logical mind might not understand, but your soul definitely does. So if you've been feeling different lately, not broken, but becoming, stay till the end, because this video might just make you realize that what you're going through isn't chaos, it's transformation. Every spiritual awakening begins with a crack, a moment, an experience, or a loss that shakes the very foundation of who you think you are. But that crack is not your breaking point, it's your breakthrough point. You see, awakening doesn't just happen randomly. It's usually triggered when your soul has had enough of living a life that doesn't align with its truth. When you've been pretending, settling, or suppressing your true emotions for too long, the soul finally whispers, "It's time to wake up." Sometimes that whisper comes as pain, a heartbreak, a betrayal, a sudden loss, an existential crisis, or even a phase of deep loneliness where everything in your external world collapses so that your inner world can finally rise. In the beginning, it doesn't feel like awakening. It feels like suffering, like the universe is being cruel, taking away everything you once relied on. But the truth is, it's not punishment, it's purification. The job you lost, the relationship that ended, the friends who drifted away, they were all divinely placed events to remove everything that was not in alignment with who you are becoming. Because the awakening journey begins when the soul starts remembering what the mind has forgotten. It starts when your old identity begins to dissolve, the identity built on people's approval, achievements, and labels. It's like your soul is saying, enough of living as what the world told you to be. Now remember who you truly are. And that remembering is what we call awakening. Now, here's the thing. Not every awakening looks the same. For some, it's sudden, like a lightning bolt that changes everything overnight. For others, it's slow, quiet, and almost unnoticeable, a gentle unfolding that happens through small moments of awareness. But whether it's silent or chaotic, every awakening serves the same purpose, to shift you from sleepwalking through life to living consciously, to make you realize that you are never just a body or a personality. You've always been a soul having a human experience. Now that you understand what truly initiates this transformation, let's explore the real signs, the emotional, mental, and energetic changes that clearly indicate you're going through a spiritual awakening. Sign 1. You feel detached from your old self and the world around you. The first and most profound sign of spiritual awakening is detachment. You suddenly start feeling like a stranger in your own life. The things that once mattered so much, your ambitions, your relationships, your possessions, no longer hold the same meaning. You look at your surroundings and wonder, why does everything feel so different when nothing has actually changed? It's not that you've stopped caring, it's just that your awareness has expanded beyond what used to define you. You've started realizing that most of the things you were chasing, approval, validation, status, even success, were never truly yours. They were borrowed from the world's idea of who you should be. And now, as you awaken, that illusion starts fading. You might feel disconnected from friends or family who still live in the same old patterns. You may not relate to small talk anymore. You may crave silence instead of noise, depth instead of distraction. This phase can be confusing and even painful because it feels like you're losing yourself. But what's really happening is you're shedding your old self, the version of you that was built by fear, conditioning, and survival. It's like when a snake sheds its skin. In that moment, the snake looks vulnerable, raw, and exposed, but it's actually renewing itself. And that's exactly what your soul is doing. You are being reborn into a higher level of consciousness, where your identity is no longer tied to what you do, but to who you are. So if you've been feeling emotionally detached, if the world suddenly feels too loud, too shallow, or too unreal, know that you're not becoming numb. You're simply becoming aware. This detachment is your soul's way of pulling you away from illusion, so you can start seeing the truth. And once that begins, everything else in your life starts to shift. Sign 2. You experience emotional chaos and confusion. After the phase of detachment comes a storm. Your emotions, which once felt predictable, suddenly turn wild and uncontrollable. One moment you feel deeply peaceful. The next, you're overwhelmed by sadness, anger, or anxiety for no clear reason. It feels like your inner world has become a battlefield, and you don't even know what you're fighting anymore. You start crying without understanding why. Old wounds resurface. Memories you thought were long forgotten suddenly come back, and the emotions attached to them feel stronger than ever. This phase is what many people mistake as falling apart, but in truth, it's the moment your soul begins to cleanse itself. See, for years, you've been carrying emotions you never processed. Pain you suppressed, guilt you ignored, trauma you normalized. And during awakening, all those emotions rise to the surface because your soul is saying, it's time to heal this now. It's like the light of consciousness is shining into the dark corners of your being, revealing everything you once avoided. That's why it feels chaotic, because healing never looks graceful in the beginning. You may feel emotionally unstable, questioning who you are, doubting your path, even feeling disconnected from God or the universe. But remember this, confusion is a sign of expansion. Your mind is losing control because your heart is taking over. When the soul begins to awaken, the ego starts to panic because it realizes it can no longer control your story. So if you've been feeling emotionally heavy lately, if you swing between tears and silence, clarity and confusion, please know you're not regressing, You're releasing. Your tears are not weakness, they're purification. Your confusion isn't failure, it's the collapse of your old identity. The version of you that lived in fear, shame, or unworthiness is slowly dying. And the new you, the conscious, awakened self, is just beginning to rise. So breathe through this chaos. Don't rush your healing. The storm isn't destroying you, it's cleansing you for what's next. Sign 3, you start experiencing ringing ears, strange smells, or unusual body sensations. When you start going through a spiritual awakening, your energy begins to shift, and your body starts reacting to that shift. Because the truth is, your body and soul are deeply connected. So whenever your soul evolves, your body adjusts too. That's why many people notice physical or sensory changes during their awakening. You might start hearing a faint ringing or buzzing sound in your ears, especially when you're alone, meditating, or just before sleeping. Sometimes the sound stays for a few seconds, sometimes longer. Now, this might sound strange, but it's actually your energy field becoming more sensitive. Your vibration is rising, and your body is learning to tune in to higher frequencies that it never noticed before. It's like your spiritual antenna is being switched on. You're picking up subtle frequencies from your own higher self, from the universe, or from energetic shifts around you. Similarly, some people start noticing unusual smells, like the fragrance of flowers, sandalwood, or smoke, even when there's no physical source. This can be your soul's way of sensing energy through smell. In spiritual terms, it's called clairsentience. Often, such scents appear during meditation, prayer, or when a divine presence, angel or spirit guide is nearby to reassure you that you're being supported and protected. Apart from this, you may also experience physical sensations like sudden headaches, heaviness in the forehead, tingling in the crown area, warmth in your palms, or light vibrations running through your body. Doctors may find nothing wrong physically. They happen because your chakras are opening and realigning. Your crown and third eye chakras, which connect you to divine awareness, are expanding to hold more light and higher consciousness. And when that happens, the body feels it. But don't be afraid of these symptoms. They're not signs that something is wrong. They're signs that your energy is transforming. When your soul starts holding more light, your nervous system, your cells, your entire being begins to adapt to it. That adjustment can sometimes feel like pressure, ringing, or mild discomfort, but it's temporary and completely natural. So if you've been wondering why you suddenly feel these random body sensations or faint sounds no one else hears, know that it's not your imagination. It's your soul upgrading your physical body to match your higher frequency. Your body is learning a new language, the language of energy. And these experiences are proof that your awakening is not just spiritual, it's also physical. Sign 4. You suddenly feel drawn to spiritual tools or knowledge like tarot, astrology, crystals, or the universe. At one point in your journey, something begins to change in your interests. The things that once excited you, gossip, trends, material goals, suddenly start feeling empty. And in their place, you feel a new kind of curiosity rising within you, a pull toward the mystical side of life. You might find yourself fascinated by tarot cards, astrology, numerology, or crystals. You start watching videos about energy, angels, or universal laws. You begin searching for meaning behind coincidences, and you start to sense that everything in life is connected by something greater. It's not that you suddenly decided to become spiritual, it's that your soul has started remembering its true nature. During awakening, your vibration changes, and naturally, your awareness begins to expand beyond the physical world. You start realizing that life is not random. There are energies, patterns, and divine timing at work behind everything. This realization makes you curious. You want to understand the deeper layers of existence, why certain people enter your life, why certain events repeat, and how the universe communicates through signs and synchronicities. That's when tools like tarot or astrology become gateways, not for prediction, but for self-awareness and guidance. Tarot starts feeling like a mirror to your inner emotions. Astrology begins to reveal your soul's blueprint. You realize that these aren't superstitions, they're sacred languages that help you understand yourself and the universe better. You might also find comfort in reading spiritual books, learning about chakras, karma, reincarnation, or energy healing. Every piece of information feels like a missing puzzle piece. Something inside you whispers, "Yes, this feels true." That's your soul remembering. Because once you start awakening, you can't go back to living unconsciously. You crave depth, you crave wisdom, and you begin to seek connection with the divine in everything you do. So, if you've suddenly developed an interest in spiritual tools or knowledge, don't doubt it or suppress it. It's not a coincidence, it's guidance. Your higher self is nudging you toward the truth, toward the awareness that there's more to life than what you see. These tools are simply doors, helping you step into that higher dimension of understanding. Sign 5. You start noticing repeated numbers, signs, and synchronicities from the universe. When your spiritual awakening begins, you'll start noticing that the universe has started talking to you, not through words, but through signs. You might repeatedly see numbers like 1111, 222, or 555 on clocks, receipts, or random places, and somehow they'll catch your attention every single time. At first, you might ignore them, thinking it's just a coincidence. But soon, you'll realize these patterns are not random, they're messages. You might start hearing the same song again and again, seeing a particular symbol everywhere, or meeting people who tell you exactly what you needed to hear. These synchronicities are the universe's way of saying, you're not alone, you're on the right path. It's a reminder that your energy is shifting, your vibration is rising, and you've started aligning with your higher self. It's like the entire universe has started communicating with you, gently guiding you through signs, symbols, and moments that are too perfect to be a coincidence. And as you begin to notice these signs and synchronicities more often, you'll start realizing that your awakening isn't just a phase, it's a sacred calling. A reminder that your soul is ready to rise above the noise of the outer world and connect with something far greater than what your eyes can see. You begin to understand that nothing in your life has ever been random. Every event, every person, every heartbreak, and every delay was guiding you toward this moment of realization. Slowly, confusion turns into clarity, chaos into calmness, and fear into faith. That's the true essence of a spiritual awakening. It doesn't give you a new life, it transforms the way you see life. You start viewing everything through the eyes of awareness and compassion, realizing that the universe was never against you. It was always teaching you. So, if you're experiencing any of these signs, don't be afraid. It's not the end of who you are, it's the shedding of what you're not. You're remembering your truth, your light, and your divine connection with the source. Trust this journey, even when it feels uncertain. The universe never wakes a soul that isn't ready to awaken. You are exactly where you're meant to be, growing, evolving, and rediscovering yourself one sign at a time. Your awakening is not a coincidence. It's your soul coming home.
If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because in the next video, we'll talk about how to navigate your spiritual awakening with balance and peace, so that you can flow through this journey with trust instead of fear. Until then, stay grounded, stay conscious, and keep listening to the whispers of your soul.